Hi, so today I'm doing this video to teach you how to prepare your home for the AHCA inspection. So by now, we're at the very end of the process, whereas we've already worked on all of your inspections, right? Your emergency management have been submitted, and at least the generator plan have been submitted and approved. We've done the health department inspections. We've done the fire safety inspections, and we have all of our documents that we need to submit your packet. Now it's just a matter of prepping the facility to make sure that AHCA sees what they're looking for and that they will issue your license. So just a little bit of a review. Your facility needs to be ready to receive a resident now. So far, everything we did to get you ready up until this point needs to be implemented. For example, everything you did to pass the health department inspection need to be happening. Let's say, for example, you got yourself prepared for the health department inspections, but you didn't keep things that way because you either live in the house or life happened, right? Now you have to make sure all of the items and the things that you put in place, for example, the thermometers and the refrigerators inside of the freezer, the signs that have to be posted, all of the things, the thermometer that have to be in the sink, all of the things that you did to pass the health department inspections need to be present. All of the things that you did to pass the fire safety inspection need to be present, right? Like for example, your exit signs, make sure you have clear pathways. All of these things have to be present. So everything build up until AHCA comes by. When AHCA comes by, of course, they're going to make sure that your facility is actually physically ready to accept a residence now. But their main purpose right now is to verify that you have all of the files that you are supposed to have. Remember, I mailed you all of your files in your binders, in your folders that you are supposed to have. Now your job is to make sure that you actually review those binders, and whatever document is missing, like whatever document you did not send to us, you actually put those documents in those designated areas. Follow exactly the path that I provided with the documents that I send you. And your job now is to make sure that you are familiar with what's in the document. So if AHCA asks you, where can I find your facility policies and procedures, you know exactly where you can find that, right? The other thing is AHCA expect for you to know what to do. For example, by now, since we've sent you all of the documents, all of the files, everything is nicely put together. Your job is to make sure you review those documents, you know where things are, and you know what to do as the administrator. So a lot of the documents that you needed, a lot of the inspections that you needed to complete, we've already done those things. Your fire inspection, your generator inspection, all of the documents that we need, we already have up until this point. Now you just have to make sure that you play the part, right? When AHCA shows up, you need to make sure that you are professional, you are dressed professionally. Don't just slap anything on. Dress professional. Make sure that your facility is how it's supposed to be. For example, what are some displays that you should have, right? Around your facility, you should have 2 posters. You should have your ombudsman posters posted. And if you haven't done so already, please Google your local ombudsman office and stop by, letting them know that you're opening an assisted living and you need the large posters. They're going to give you the very large posters. Usually they'll give you 2. I don't think they give any more, but you can push to have more. And with those 2 posters, you're going to post one in English, one in Spanish, and you're going to post it in your living room areas. Okay. Make sure you have your ombudsman posters posted in your resident folder, you will find the resident rights, the phone numbers that they need to have. Also post those along with the large ombudsman folder. Those need to be not folders, but posters. The ombudsman posters need to be posted in the living room area. And the phone numbers and the resident rights needs to be posted wherever you're going to have the phone at, where the residents can call their family members. You also need to post those necessary phone numbers. So if we did your emergency management plan, you will have the necessary phone numbers that you need to also post. You also need to post your menus. Remember that you are supposed to have your menus that your residents are going to eat from a licensed dietitian. So in a board, you're going to have your resident rights. You're going to have whatever zoning documentation that give you the rights to be zoned. You're going to post that. You're going to post your menus. You're also going to post anything from the city, like your business tax. You may or may not have your business tax yet, because some cities only give you the business tax receipt after you actually receive your license. Okay. Besides the displays of what you need to have, you need to make sure on the day of the inspection that your facility look nice, that it smells fresh. You should have some plugins on the wall. You have very good lighting. Open up all the curtains, making sure that you have all the lightings, all your lights on. Also making sure if you have fans, put the fans on. Make sure that the house look nice, because when the inspector walk in, their initial impression of your facility will kind of like make them feel like, oh, you did what you're supposed to do. Your files probably have the necessary documents, or they probably, oh, this is somebody that's trying to cheat the system, trying to do the very bare minimum and get licensed, and they probably not going to give the residents a good life, right? So make sure you give a good first impression. One, they walk in. Two, start with the facility. How does the facility look? How does it smell? Okay. Remember all of the rules that you had to abide by to get those other steps, like your fire inspection, like your health department inspection. Make sure all of those things are still in place. Okay. And expect that the AHCA surveyor will ask you where things are in your files. So when I send you those files, make sure that you actually review them. Make sure you take the time to read them, to complete the applications. You yourself, as the administrator, the owner, are the first employees, you and your safety liaison person. So your files have to be completed. Make sure you have all of the documents that you are supposed to have in your files completed, because the AHCA surveyor is going to look at how you completed your application in your safety liaison person's application. And that's how they know that you know how to onboard new employees. You will need to have new employees. So make sure your application is up to par. Make sure you fill out your binder. Make sure you fill out all the documentation. Just follow everything that I put on there. Put the missing pieces, make sure you get the education, all of those things. Put them in your binder, your employee file, and AHCA will know that you know how to onboard an employee. They will have to make sure that you actually know about in-service, right? How do you in-service a new employee? When do you have the pre-service training? The pre-service training needs to be conducted before your employee is actually start working. Okay, so make sure you review those things. Make sure you remember when you did your core training, what was some things that they cover. AHCA will need to know that you know how to handle emergencies. So all of those documents that we put for emergency purposes, review it. Know who your evacuation facility is. Know how to notify the resident when you need to evacuate, what you need to do. For example, put a sign on the door of where you're going, the phone number, contact information of the evacuation facility, things like that. AHCA need to know that you know how to handle emergencies, that you know what to do if you have an incident, right? Incident reporting. What do you do, right? Make sure you review the files, you know where things are, you know what to do, because at the end of the day, you are the administrator. You are the one that's gonna tell everybody what to do should an emergency happen. So make sure you know basic things. Don't look lost, don't be confused. And if you don't know, tell AHCA you will ask, you will look into it, and that you will ask your consultant, okay? Because they do want to make sure that you know what to do. So in recap, make sure your facility look nice. Make sure it smells good. Make sure your binders are nicely organized like I have them and mailed them to you. If you want to separate your binders, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you know where things are, you know what to do, and your employee, which you are the first employee, make sure your file is up to par, having all the documents you're supposed to have. Once AHCA review your files, because they're coming in to review your files and to verify your facility is actually ready to receive residents. Once they review your files, if you're missing anything, they will let you know. If they're happy with what they see, they will let you know that they're going to send your license by email. And then after that, it's just you getting ready to accept your first residents. So I get this questions a lot. What happens after you receive your AHCA license? So after you receive your AHCA license, we do have the Thriving Circle community that you can join, where we will help you with applying for Medicaid, for example, some of the marketing questions that you will have. How do you onboard new residents? Some of the questions that they're going to come up with, and making sure that you know what's going on and you know what to do. And I feel that first year of managing your ALF, you really need hand holding, because there's just so much that's going to come up because you're doing it for the first time and you're not sure what to do. And let me know if you have any questions, but pretty much this is how you prep yourself for your AHCA license inspection. Just making sure that you have the proper documents, making sure that everything you did to get your, for example, your health department inspection pass, you have those things. Making sure you have set up the house to accept residents today, your grab bars, all those things that you did. Because at this point, AHCA is just coming by to make sure you have all of your necessary documents and to verify your facility files, your policies, your procedures, making sure you abide by your emergency management, for example, the generator, all of those things that you were supposed to have, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help you any way that I can, because my goal is the same goal that you have, is to help you get your AHCA license and to help you move in those first residents, okay? So until next time,